I mean, I don't know if I can say this above all. Yeah, I mean,
How would you know? Okay. How would you?
Everything comes with this, no? Okay. If you're happy and healthy, everything comes with it along. I mean, at least everything that we love to have or want to have, because we can only have what we can only want what we don't have.
Yeah.
Can only want what we don't have.
True.
So when you're healthy, you can have everything, because that's all you need for your body, at least, to have health. If you have health in your body, everything else doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you sleep on the street under a bench, or if you sleep in the most luxury villa somewhere on top of the mountain. As long as you're healthy, everything else doesn't matter. So basically it means when you're healthy, you have everything you need, and everything else is just extra. It's just an adding, it's a topping. You know, everything else doesn't really matter. If you focus yourself on this, the rest doesn't matter.
I think most people want to live like this, to be honest. But then when you, sometimes now I'm trying, like, I had things in mind, right? But what you said about, it's all about how you think. It's really like starting to question my,
Beautiful.
Like, so that's
something clicked already.
Something clicked, yes. And I'm like trying to.
I'm glad.
So yeah. I mean, I love these conversations, man. I mean, it just makes me really good. I'm always open. I'm always never afraid to say I'm wrong. Always.
Never always. It's the same word.
Yeah, my English is bad.
Oh, my English. I don't even want to talk about my English here. Let's talk in the language that we know.
Yeah.
Singlish, Swiss English, whatever it is. We find a way to communicate. It's more vibrations than communication.
For sure. What did I want to say? I wanted to say about happiness, and then most people feel tied down. Even though they want to live their life that's happy or healthy or whatever, healthy and happy, obviously, people feel tied down by certain factors.
Yeah.
Maybe it's supporting a family or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for this cause. No, not cause. Maybe it's most of the time culturally, from a cultural perspective, I think, I don't know, when we discussed this earlier, you said it's a common thing, but culturally the whole family supporting thing is very common in Sri Lanka, right?
Yeah.
So, or in this region, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere in the world. It's everywhere a little bit different, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, so you have to live with your parents, even after getting married, even before getting married, you don't get to live alone. It's not
the rules.
The rules. So these rules can impede on what you said.
I don't believe in rules.
True, I agree, right? But some people are like, they're like, okay, people would ask, I want to live happy and healthy, but if I live in my parents' house, I'm not going to be happy, right?
Yeah.
But then I can't leave my parents, because if I leave my parents, they'll be like, oh, you're leaving us, you're abandoning us, whatever. They'll guilt trip you, which is very common, right? So then that their happiness is now impeded by a factor that they don't feel like they have control over, which is very common in Sri Lanka or in Asia.
So that means that they use their kids for their happiness.
Yeah.
Which automatically doesn't work, because it's not their happiness, it's the kids' happiness. Right? So everyone should be happy by themselves.
They should make them happy.
And if your parents really love you, they only want you to be happy. Right? I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about everyone. Everyone has to be happy without taking happiness from someone else, You shouldn't be happy because I am happy. I mean, I love that. This is an energy exchange. If you're happy that I'm happy, that's beautiful. But you should not depend on my happiness. Like, parents should not depend on the happiness of a child to be happy, or the child to be around. This is a selfish love. It's not conditional, not unconditional. It's conditional love. Mother and father love are conditioned. It's mother love and father love. It's not just love. So if they condition that by a cultural aspect, which they have been told from their parents, that have been told from their parents, from wherever this came from, they condition this cultural aspect of we can only be happy if our child stays with us. But in the same thing, in the same moment, they have a conflict because they want you to create a family. That's at least what I know about these cultures. So they want the same. They want you to be happy with someone else, but they need you to be happy. And that doesn't work like this. At the moment where you are happy with yourself, your parents will automatically be happy too.
Hopefully.
Because if they really love you unconditionally, they will be happy of you being happy.
That's a great way to put it.
So the happiness you get is a choice, man. It's a choice. It's not a decision, or maybe it's a decision. It's not something that you can find somewhere. Either you are happy or you're not. You cannot go and say, I go and I surf and then I'm happy. It does. Maybe that makes you temporarily happy, but in the end, you have to be happy to make things that make you happy. You cannot. There will be nothing that fills your void to be happy. You just have to be happy. It's something that you do, like something that you are. It's not something that you can get from anything. And it doesn't matter if it's you or your parents. And if you say there is something that ties you down, or someone says that's something that ties them down, and it's the family, so you already know what ties you down. It's your own cultural restriction that you got from someone that has the same problem. You don't have to live along the same way your parents do if you don't want to. And the same way you will change them. If you decide to be happy and you show them that you are happy, you have to show them. You have to say, hey, what do you want from me? To live with you guys, or you want me to be happy and healthy? And then they will definitely not say, I want you to stay with me. I want you to be happy and healthy, whatever it is, no? And then you will tell them, look, you have to be happy with yourself. I cannot fulfill your happiness. That doesn't work, right? So that's the way you have to look at it. It all comes from yourself. Everything and every emotion, man. Every single emotion. If it's hate or anger or love or whatever it is, it comes from you. It's a choice. You choose it. It's not someone else or some other thing that does it. If you attract it more and more, it will come. Like if you're angry about the situation in Sri Lanka with the cultural difference and all the religion that fight against each other, go there, man. You will get the hate because that's where you look at. And you always go where you look. If you look at these things the most, that's where you head towards the most. If you look at the anger that is there, you go towards that anger. If you look at the happiness that is existing in this country, which there's a lot, you will go towards the happiness. It doesn't mean you have to close your eyes and not look, but don't judge. Look at it in a neutral way, not in a perspective where you put yourself on a side. If it's religion or race or whatever it is in the end, it doesn't matter, anything. Neutral. You have to be neutral. If else you get attached by it.
That's actually, because see, it's what you said right now, that the fact, emphasizing neutrality, it's not something a lot of people do. For example, let's say surfing.
Yeah.
If I want to
why do you go surfing? Tell me.
Exactly, right? There used to be
Ask yourself.
Yeah,
Ask yourself.
So exactly. So I used to
Let's do this game.
Okay.
Ask yourself.
Okay.
Why?
I used to want to do it because I thought happiness comes from being able to be free. That's how I thought.
Oh, that's right.
No,
But then you have to be free.
True. But then, not just free. Go to these nice places in the south.
Yes.
Surf all day, chill in the beach, take Instagram photos, very important. Show the world that you're happy.
So that means you find your happiness in showing others that
Exactly.
you're happy. But that's exactly the opposite.
Exactly.
That's not how it works.
Absolutely. And I think
Then you feed yourself from other people's happiness, and that will never be true happiness because you will feel a void there that is never been filled. It's inside already.
see that's something that if people, like, I have friends who are on my Instagram and whatever. I used to go on hikes. I used to go to surf down south, all this stuff. Post on Instagram. I do it for Instagram. Like when I'm going there, I'm like, okay, what's going to make an good Instagram post, right? And that's why I do it, right? And now I don't post on Instagram.
Yeah, good.
Like stories, I don't post stories on Sun. I mean, it's like, it's
I mean,
just,
you can still post.
I'm telling exactly.
You can still
you have to
post.
know why. You have to know why.
But don't.
True.
No, exactly not. You don't have to know why.
No, as in like
You do it for yourself.
Exactly.
To share.
Exactly.
But not others to expect to see you having a happy life.
True.
Because in this moment
True.
you're asking for it.
True.
That the people tell you, yes, you are happy. But nobody can tell you you're happy. You have to tell yourself.
Yeah.
With whatever you're doing. And if I go surfing, I don't go surfing to fill a void. I not go surfing to get happy from it. I go surfing because it feels right.
See, even we could say that even love is the same thing.
It's the same. Every
people
emotion.
try to forget, like, fill voids. Right?
Every emotion. Every
Always.
single emotion. Every single emotion you take, is it a positive or a negative emotion? It's always to fill a void.
Yeah, I think that's this is fill a void concept I've heard with drugs. People who take a lot of, like really extreme drugs.
Yeah.
Right. Not the ones that are the awesome ones. Right?
That's another option.
Yeah.
You change your vibrations towards the level that the drug is. If you are, let's take alcohol, it's a very common drug. Let's not call it awesome.
Most addictive. No, when I say awesome, I didn't mean that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever it is. You can take any drug. We can take any drug. Every drug has a certain vibration.
Yeah.
Alcohol is very common. I'm not talking about any religion here. It's one of the most common drugs we use in the world. Sugar maybe even more. But let's take alcohol because sugar most of the people don't see as drugs yet. So what happens with alcohol is when you are in a sad mood, you are here. If you drink alcohol, you forget about your sadness for a moment and you get here. So alcohol hires your vibration. But let's say you are happy. You don't need to drink alcohol. Because if you're happy and you're here, you will drink alcohol. You forget about your happiness. And you come back down to this. So most of the people that consume drugs, they try to raise their vibrations from a lower level because alcohol brings them to a more neutral point. But you don't need anything to be at that neutral point. You don't need any drug. You don't even need food. Like you don't need to eat some steak or fancy food to be happy. That's another thing that you tell yourself that makes you happy. Good food makes you happy. It doesn't. It's just a void that wants to be filled, your stomach that wants to be filled and say, oh, I want this. I want exactly this, then I'm going to be happy. But in the end, you use the energy of this animal or even the energy of the plant. Whatever you eat, it doesn't matter if you're vegan or eating meat, whatever it is.
You are a vegan or you eat
nothing.
You eat everything, right?
I eat conscious, that's all I do. When I eat something, I don't eat it for the sake.
Conscious.
I don't eat it for the sake of filling a void in myself, I eat it because I need it, because there's food. It makes my body work. I eat less and less, I don't need to eat more.
This is something even I'm like recently doing.
I used to eat a lot. I could eat so much. You can eat as much as you want, basically. But you're just filling a void that it's not going to be filled. You poop it out and you eat again. That's how it goes. And I used to do that. I even made a bet with my friend once who said like, I bet you cannot eat that. I was like, sure I can eat that. I know I have my tummy is huge. I can eat a lot. And he was like, you cannot. I was like, okay, I'll show you. Just for the sake of proving him, I ate like a bowl with 3 kilograms of potatoes. And it fit. I just had to go to poop twice in between. But it came. It went in. It all fit in there. It was like a big bowl of potatoes with couscous. Like one of the most filling things. But so you can look at it like this. Tell me your favorite meal.
Good beef attached to us like a bone.
Okay.
Like a ribeye steak or something.
Take a blender. You put all the ingredients inside the blender and blend it. Would it still be your favorite meal to drink this? So you're not attached to this meal. You're attached to the consistency of this. That's what you want. It's not even the taste. If you blend some, and it's the same nutrition, man. It doesn't change anything in there. If you cannot blend something in the blender and eat it, you don't eat it for the sake of food. You eat it for something. I don't know what it is. It's the structure or something.
It's such a cool. Such a cool perspective.
So basically, you just have to be conscious about this, and you won't need much.
You can apply that to anything.
Yeah.
Meat eaters, vegetarians, vegans.
Everything. What is the only thing that you would like from the blender?
From the?
What would you say is the only thing that tastes good from the blender? Or you wouldn't, not call it like this. You eat it either if it's blended or not, and it's the same. For you, it doesn't make a big difference.
I can't think of it. Maybe juices, maybe? I don't think. Maybe
What is juices made out of?
Solid fruits, right?
So there you go. These are the only things that we eat that we're not attached to the consistency. We're still attached to something. There's sugars and tastes and stuff like that. But at least it's not the consistency.
Sure. Sure. Right. Maybe even chocolate.
Chocolate is what?
Like milkshake and chocolate and like blended or not.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But chocolate is a fruit.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it is.
it comes from a fruit at
Yeah,
least.
yeah,
It's purified and changed, and there you come back to the sugar. That's the sugar. And the consistency, because it's the cream that you like. You don't like the cacao. It's not the cacao that you want. The cacao is bitter.
Yeah,
you don't like
cream that, yeah.
It's the sweet and the creaminess of the milk. It's a consistency that you're attached to. Let's say I don't know how to do that with milk. With milk, maybe you have to do the opposite. If you freeze milk, and it's frozen, it's ice, and you bite it and you eat it like you crunch it, it's not satisfying. It's the same thing. It doesn't satisfy you. An egg, for example. A blended egg might taste good if you mix it with the right things. But a frozen egg?
Yeah,
No. So it's a consistency again. It's not the egg itself that you like. It's something about the egg that you like. You don't need it.
So does this principle only like apply for like fruits? I mean,
That's where
I'm just thinking about
That's
it.
where I am so far.
As in, we need to explore more.
As in, you can always
it's
grow.
actually a really good philosophical question.
It means you can grow always. You can get away from fruits also.
That's it. Yeah. Do you meditate?
What is meditation?
As in, like, I don't know. When I say, do you meditate?
I need to know from you what meditation is.
Okay.
What you understand on the meditation.
So I meditate, right?
How do you meditate?
Mindfulness, like breathing in and just like see where the brain goes. That's it.
So you ask me if I breathe and let the brain go. That's what I do the whole day, from morning till evening. I breathe and let my brain go wherever it goes. So I meditate 24/7.
People hear this, like if you started with that, if I started with like, do you meditate, and you said that answer, people be like, yeah, this guy is like, a crackpot, I mean, what the hell, like that's crazy. But after everything that you said, something that was running in my mind was like, what the fuck is this guy like so, I mean like, he's philosophical, I don't know, how is he? It makes sense. Makes sense. I understand why you are the way you are because what you just said right now. Your whole meditation.
Good. And then you have to leave it there. Then you have to leave it there because if you try to dig deeper, at this moment you try to find a difference between you and me, and that doesn't work because you differentiate you with myself. So you automatically separate myself from you. But if you stay at the moment where you say, I see